Hello students, this is Miss Kelly. I want to thank you so much for being patient. I have been very sick, but I wanted to make sure that you received everything you needed. So I'm doing the lecture that I was going to give to you. I'm recording that now, and that will end with an assignment that you're going to do over the weekend and have ready for Tuesday, the 29th. So here we go. So first of all, we're going to talk about writing, understanding writing in the rhetorical situation. So we talked about this some before last week, and then for my 9:30 class on Tuesday. What is the rhetorical situation? Rhetoric is using language effectively to persuade, inform, educate, or entertain. And the rhetorical situation is the circumstanding surrounding what you're trying to communicate. So think about it in this way. So you have the writer, the purpose, the audience, and the topic. Then, encompassing all of this is the context you want in which you write and the culture in which you write. All of these have something to do with how you define yourself as a writer, how you create your purpose, the audience that you try to address, and then the topic that you define for yourself. Context means what surrounds the situation, and culture means where are you? Who are you with? What do those people think? How does that culture act? And cultural identity is very crucial to what you're able to explore in writing. So, the writer, your culture, the personal characteristics and influences, the interests that affect you, what you write about, and how you write, all are determined by those things. That's why I said last week, I'm never going to give you a topic because I don't know what you're interested in. Only you know what you're interested in. What's most important to me is that you are able to communicate those interests clearly and that you're able to figure out the other beliefs that others have so you can address an audience effectively. Now, these are some factors which can affect your writing. Your age, certainly. Someone who has been writing for a very long time, they've had a great number of life experiences, will have different information to pull on. But I've known some people who are five who have more life experiences than some people who are 80. And I know that sounds odd, but in this day and time, it is possible. So I want you to think about that. Your age, there are things in your life that are very, very important to you. You think about things that are very important. The other thing, your experiences. Of course, if you have more experience with something, you're going to have more to say about it, right? Um, so I think it's very important for me as an instructor to realize that while not everyone in class is 18, most people in class are 18 or 19, right? So let's think about in those years, what kind of experiences have you had? Some of you have been able to travel the world, while others of you were in your town, that's where you lived, a small town in the south perhaps or in the north, but that doesn't mean you don't have cool and interesting experiences. Sometimes sitting on your grandmother's porch listening to her experiences is some of the greatest stuff to write about. Sometimes you have 80-year-olds who haven't been anywhere, and other times you have 5-year-olds who have traveled to Europe. So it's important for us to understand that. Your gender. Yes, this affects you because you perceive the world differently depending on your gender. It's important to understand that, and that is okay. Your location. Well, our school is in Statesboro, Georgia. We are in the deep south. We are in Georgia, one of the original 13 colonies. So we have a lot of history going on around us, a lot of cultural history, a lot of social history, um, and it's important for us to understand what's going on in our world. Political beliefs. Now, all of these, age, experience, gender, location, help determine your political beliefs. Some people have political beliefs because they've studied and thought about the issues. Other people have political beliefs because of gut reactions, and some have political beliefs because of what they've been told. So, one of the things I want y'all to consider is, where do your political beliefs come from? To me, it does. I do not judge people based on their beliefs. I just don't think that. I mean, unless your belief is that you should murder everybody, your beliefs are your business. And I'm not going to judge you for that. But I always encourage people to be educated in those beliefs. So if you have a certain political view, where does that come from? Is it just because everybody in your family has always been Republican? Or do you really believe what the Republican Party stands for? Or maybe nobody knows what party they stand for. It's important to decide that. Your beliefs and how you structure them are, not going to make me not like your writing. Never. I will never judge your writing for your beliefs. I will, however, judge your writing by how you're able to communicate those beliefs and if you're effectively able to support them. Your parents and peers, again, um, depending on what peer group you're in, we have something called a discourse community. So you speak one way to your parents, you speak a completely different way to your best friends, and yet a different way to a sports group that you're in, a youth group that you're in. You speak another way online, and you speak yet another way to your siblings. So we have these different groups that we hang out with called discourse communities, and we construct language and personalities based on those communities. It's important to write about that. Your education, certainly your education is going to play in a role in how you write. But I will tell you, there are some writers in the world who never had a formal education, but they had a gift, okay? But not everybody has the gift to write well. However, you can learn to write well. Well, my screen is stuck here. I'm not quite sure why. Oh, there it goes all at one time. So the reason that we have here is the purpose and reason for writing. So your purpose, you have to think about now, what do you want to do with that writing? Okay? Do you want to entertain, inform, shock, call to action, persuade? What is your goal for the writing? Okay, so as you're thinking about this, I want you to look at these different categories, okay? How do you manage them? The category or type of writing, that's important. How are you going to work through the different types of writing? Genre hinges upon purpose, okay? Often people will wonder about, what comes first, form or content? Well, it really depends in school, for example, what the purpose is. Sometimes you have to write a proposal, so the material within the proposal that you use in the proposal has to be set up to work in that format. So here are some examples. Okay, fiction, autobiography, story, news article. The audience, and this is to whom you're writing. Many of the same factors play here. Age, social class, education, past experience, culture, subculture, expectations. Um, and what will you write about? Well, you're going to broaden or narrow topics based on what you're interested in. Topics should be appropriate to the situation we talked about. The situation which generates the need for your writing, affected by time period, location, current views, cultural significance. All of that is important. These are the things that you certainly need to consider: writer, purpose, audience, topic, context, and culture. You have to understand the rhetorical situation. So this means you'll need to be aware that rhetorical situation exists every time you write. They exist every time you go somewhere. You'll need to adapt your writing depending on your purpose and audience. And after you think about this, if we go back, every time you do this, you're going to have to adapt. Now, that brings us to our reading. So after you read the introduction and first chapter in the textbook, you have a better understanding of why you must pay attention to others. You're going to engage in a conversation and be open to other perspectives. And this is crucial to understanding what you believe and have solid support for those beliefs. Respecting others' opinions and ideas does not mean you agree. However, it does prove that you have investigated the alternatives and not come to conclusions blindly. So then you have to think, what do you think? Knowing what others think and believe helps each one of us have certainty in our own beliefs. You have to investigate, however, how you learned those beliefs and ask whether or not those beliefs were, whether or not those beliefs came from something tangible or not. Do they come from belief, tradition, or did you research them? Did you experience something that made you do this? Reach beyond your beliefs. It's important to you. It's not easy, okay? Reaching beyond this beliefs is not easy. Some would say the process is uncomfortable, frightening, and sometimes life-altering. However, if you make the journey, we can truly stand by our beliefs and show that we are open to others. And this is where communication begins and why it works. So to help us understand this, we're going to talk about others' beliefs. So I've given you an article that will be posted in Folio for you to read and apply the discussion activity in Chapter 1 of They Say, I Say to this. Complete another fit sheet, a fit sheet number 2 for this reading as well. And then I would like you to map out your values and beliefs, what I call the holistic life cell. And in doing this, you're going to use a template that I will attach to the news item in Folio. And your core beliefs and values should go in the middle. This is the nucleus of your belief system. And then other beliefs will radiate out. They're all important, but sometimes they switch place over time. So right now, your education might be at the center, getting your education. Then again, God might be at the center, or your friends or family might be at the center. Okay, it depends. The center is what holds everything together. This is what I'm going to put in that document for you. You can expand it and change it as you want. All right, folks. Well, that was quick, I know. I'll be adding some more this weekend, so stay tuned. Thanks a lot, folks. Talk to you soon. Stay well.